Hello everyone, welcome back. In the session today, we are going to talk about variables, data types, and type conversion. There are the three topics to be covered. Those who are following the playlist, this is going to be the third session in this series. And those who have blended up with this video, this is one of the sessions of the series of sessions that we are going to have on C language, the journey from beginners to expert. So talking about the variables thing, before going to understand the variables, what exactly and the theory of it, let me take an example. Suppose you are going to market to buy vegetables and so a milk, a liter of milk also. So from a milk booth. So you need to have containers with you. So for vegetables, you carry a bag from your house and you are planning that whatever vegetables that you will buy, green veggies or whatever, you'll keep in the bag. And so if you're going to milk booth, you will get the milk in the milk container. So for you, these two things are container for holding some data, some materialistic things. Likewise, variables in computer or programming language are the named spaces. If I say named space means there is a location in the memory somewhere that has been named something, wherein you can keep some value. And that value can be of some type. For example, coming back to your original example wherein you have vegetables and milk. So vegetable is a type of a solid thing and milk is a liquid thing. Likewise, we can have numbers, we can have characters, we can have let's say floating numbers or some other stuffs as well. So for those we have to have a type of named spaces, and that is what we call as variable. Variable that you write in C language as actually have to have a convention. You cannot like go and write anything. It is believed and it is suggested to write the variable names so meaningful that if somebody reads it, will get to know what purpose the variable has been written for. So C provides some rules and there are some naming conventions that we need to follow. Number one is that name should be unique name. Unique name means there can't be two names similar. Like in this example, you have simply created a variable name called num1. You cannot have num1 again in your program. So it would be unique. Contains letters, numbers and underscore. There are three things only possible in the variable names. You have letters A to Z, you have numbers 0, 1, 2, whatever, and the underscore. There are three things only should be there in the variable name. Variable name are case sensitive. For example, you see num1 is one name and num1 name in capital is another name, and these two are two different, will be considered as two different names in the C programming. You cannot have white spaces or special characters in variables. So you cannot put some space like num space 1. And likewise, you cannot have, special characters, for example, question mark, asterisk, tilde sign, or whatever. And you cannot start a variable name with a number also. Not but not least, you cannot use some reserve keyword in the variable naming convention. For example, reserve keywords are those keywords which are already used in C programming. For example, for loop, for int, or let's say default or switch cases, switch. These are also reserve keywords which C programs are using and provided by the libraries. So you cannot use. Okay, let me take you to the editor and to see it happening. I'm here in the Google browser again, and we know that GDB online editor is open, and I have created my projects. So I'm just going to project and I am opening my variable naming convention. So what was the first rule? The first rule is, let's say, should be unique. So what I'm trying to create two variables with the same name. One is of integer type, one is of char type. What are these two, int and char? I'll be talking in the coming session. So let me run the program. Once I run the program, I see that it's on this. So it reacts that conflicting type for num1 and have char. So this is not possible. So once I either I can create a num11 and then this goes fine. All right, so this gets validated that names should be unique. Let's go to validate the next one. The next one is it should only contain letters, underscore, numbers, and alphabet. Yeah, alphabet, that is letter. So what mistakes I'm doing is, at this point of time it is starting with a number. So the rule that we have understood that no variable should start with a number, although this can start with a underscore. So let us validate this. So this should suffix with a num, an integer constant. So the 3 num is incorrect. So let me comment it out and see if it is, and then this is going fine. So we have seen that the variables can only contain numbers, underscore, and alphabets. Going for this, it should not contain special value. So I'm creating 2 variables where I'm trying to put some special variables, special values like percentile, and I'm also trying to give a white space here. Let us see how it reacts. So this is the problem. It said that special and the values are, white space values are not permitted. And last but not least, it should not be a reserve keyword. So I'm going to give a reserve. Default is a reserve keyword in C. So I'm going to do that. And expected identifier. So this is not expected. So what I'm going, if I change it to default, let's say default 1, and it runs fine. Right. So we have seen this. All the naming conventions rules are getting validated here. So next in the list is how do we declare the variables? Declaring variable is quite easy. All you require is to write a data type first, the data type name, or what kind of data type, and the variable name. For example, int and num1. Int is a data type, and num1 is a variable name. Variable values or variables can be assigned through equals to, like for example, I'm trying num1 equals 500. So what I'm trying to do, I am assigning 500 to num1. All right. Now talking about data types, as taking with the example, every data has got a data type. So like in C, what kind of data types are provided? So we have mainly 3 different kinds of data types. We are dividing it into primitive data type. In primitive data type, derived data type, and user defined data type. Talking about primitive data type, they are all the variant of this int, char, float, double, and void. So you can see that I have created an int type of variable wherein I have assigned 500. Likewise, float type of variable, unit price wherein some values have been assigned. Double is a large range number wherein I have assigned some large values. And likewise, character is a single character holding type of variable wherein I have assigned sex equals m. So this is a primitive, which is a basic data type. Out of this primitive data type, we can create our own derived data type. So C provides this feature also, so that we can create array. In coming sessions, we'll be talking about this array in detail and pointers in detail. But for now, to make you understand, we can also derive and create our own data type using the primitive data type. So from int is a primitive data type, and from where I have created student height. So a student height 10, that is, it can contain 10 different student height values. So let's say, for example, at 0 place I have stored 44, at first place I have stored 55, 54, and so I am printing. Likewise, a pointer is also a kind of derived data type. So from int pointer I have created, these are the kind of variables they can store, data types they can store addresses of the variables. So I told, like, named spaces, named locations. So the location has got some address. So in order to store that, we can have pointer. So this is again a derived data type. And the third is user defined data type. We can combine these data types, the basic data types, to create our own. You see in this example that student is a type of struct that I am going to create, which contains role and sex. Role is of integer type, sex is of character type. So what I'm trying to do is here, I'm trying to create a new data type of type student. So std is a variable of type student, and I can point like std.role, std.sex, like that. So std is a special type of variable of type student we have created. And what is type student? It consists of role and sex, int and char, both type of values. So it can hold two different values. So this is what you call is a user defined data type. We will be talking about these derived and user defined data types in coming sessions. Today I am going to focus more on primitive data type. So moving ahead, for the primitive data type, the integer has got, so every data type has got a size in bytes, how much space it occupies in the memory, what is the range, and what is the format specifier. If you'll refer our previous session, we have already talked about this format specifier, but repeating it, these are the specifier for format, what kind of values that you are going to take or display to input or to output. So int takes 4 bytes and this is the range. Likewise, we have short int for smaller values. Unsigned means it is not negative, only positive values. Signed int, long int, unsigned long int, unsigned long int, and signed char. Likewise, unsigned char, float. So this has got a notation like 1.2 e minus 38 to 3.4 e plus 38. So the meaning of e plus 38 is 3.4 into 10 to the power raised to the power 38. So you can calculate how much range it has, and it has got the format specifier like this. So this way we can actually create all kind of variables in C programs. You can pause this video, or you can take a snapshot, or you can refer any of the reliable internet article wherein you can get the list from. As soon as you will start doing programs and you will be needing different kind of values, you will keep you will get to know these variable data types. So for now, I will again take you to the Visual Studio to understand this all data type. Will take you again to the C programming editor to show you the uses of the data type. I am back in editor, and let's go to my project, and let us see if I have already created a primitive data type value. So I can see there. So the first example is int, wherein I can create int variable like this. You can see I am assigning some value with this range, and if I am going to run it, it works fine. So looks like there are some other also being disabled. So so you see this value. Anytime if you just want to, just by chance you had increased the value, so what will happen, this should show overflow. So you can see this is overflow. So you should always be, there is a range, so that's why there are ranges, and you can see the range list provided. So I'm getting it back again, and now running, it's all good. Likewise, every data type has got a range, and you can see the format specifier at places %d. Now the short int is having a range. The range is 32,767 minus 32,768 to 32,767, and if I am running, it's all good, you can see. And if I am trying to give extra value to it, 666, and it should overflow. So it's showing it is overflowing. All right, so this way you see that all data types are having their own range, and using those range you can write your programs. Val1, and what I'm trying to do is in val1, let's say I'm trying to say 122, and then I'm saying printf the value of val1 and %c, and then I'm saying val1 semicolon. So let us see. So it says only z, right? Z is for 122. So it takes whatever z is, what, why it is 122, because z has got a sky value. There is something called American Standard Code for Information Interchange, called is at SCI, ASCII, not SCI, actually that we can call it as a ASCII value. So ASCII. So every character has got its ASCII value. So if I am assigning it to 122, it is showing me Z here. So likewise, a maximum it go to 127. Like say I'm trying to display that tilde character. So this will display the tilde character because the tilde character is having almost around 127, I believe, if I am not wrong. So printf, I am trying to say the ASCII value. I am saying %d, and then this time I am going to say val1 and semicolon. So let us see how it goes. So tilde has got 126. Yeah. So likewise, if you see the range of character minus 127 to 120 minus 128 to 127, so you should not be worrying that exactly can we assign 123. No, you can only assign one character to it, but this actually the ASCII value range is spoken there. So taking you back on the type conversion part, type conversion is nothing but what happens when you have two different data types, and what happens one data value type of value is assigned to other data type. So could be possible that you are trying to put vegetable in the milk container. So what will happen, either the milk container will try to accommodate that value, or some of the part of the vegetables will be lost. So this is how it happens. If you have a variable called 55 value called 55.4, and you are going to store in an integer type of value, so 50, not necessarily 55.4 will be stored, but only the part which num1 can hold, that is 55, will be stored here. Likewise, so this is called implicit conversion. Implicit conversion is done by implicitly, as the name suggests. You are not required to do explicitly, but you can do explicit conversions as well. Like you are dividing 5 by 2, and the value that you are going to store in a variable called sum. So sum will store 5.2 5 divided by 2, that is 2.5. So here you are actually trying to convert it explicitly, and this is called explicit conversion. Looking at quickly in the C, I'm here in the C editor, and I have a small demo for conversion. So you see that I have 55.5 of a value which I am trying to store in num1, and let us see what it shows. I am running this program. It stores only 55. And the 5 has been excluded because it has converted. So here also what I'm trying to do is the implicit conversion has not taken place. This has to be explicitly converted. So see, 5.2 should be 5 divided by 2 should be 2.5, but it is only storing 2.0. So what I can do, I can actually explicitly convert it. So if I say I can do it like explicit conversion code float float. So now I am running it, and let us see, it gets converted to 2.5. Hope the sessions that we talked about, the topics basically around variables, data types, and type conversion are all good to you. You have got all the concepts that I wanted to communicate to you. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next video.